NFL fans, it's time to preview week number 12. I can't believe we're this far into the season already. It's crazy. We got 14 games. I'm going to break down all of them for you guys and let you know what I'm thinking about these games, give you some injury updates, and everything you need to know to crush your picks here in week number 12. Let's get into the video. All right, NFL family, here we are breaking down week number 12. Do me a huge favor. It really helps the channel out if you hit that like button and the hype button. And also, if you're into sports betting, check out my memberships. $4.99 a month through YouTube, $6.99 a month through iOS. For some weird reason, they jack up the price on your iPhone. I don't know. But here we go. Thursday night football. Bills versus the Texans, guys. This game's going to be a lot of fun. Will we see the return of C.J. Stroud? I'm leaning towards we do. This is an interesting game. Thursday night, man, Josh Allen had a killer game. 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns last week in a shootout versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, guys. But the Bills are on the road, taking on a really tough Texans defense. But the Texans' offensive line's not very good for sure. Now, this is going to be a lot of fun. Remember, the Bills do give up a lot of yards on the ground here, guys. Over under is at 43.5. Vegas is not expecting a lot of points in this game. Bills are 5.5 point favorites on the road. Usually you get 3 points being a home team. So that means Vegas thinks this is an 8.5 point spread if this was in neutral territory, right? So we've got to take that into consideration. James Cook is closing in on 1,000 yards on the season. Very impressive stuff. But the Bills have been extremely limited with the wide receiver production this NFL season. And I think this game could be close and maybe even under this total, right? Because this Texans defense has been great week in and week out. This game should be a lot of fun. From a betting perspective, Thursday night football games have been so crazy this year. I'm going to avoid this game like the plague, but it should be a lot of fun here. Bills got to keep pace with the Patriots. They need a win. And if the Texans want to keep their playoff hopes alive, they really have to win. But for me, is the Texans' offensive line and running game good enough to take advantage of this poor Bills rush defense, right? That's kind of where I think this game's going to be won or lost. I think it's way more competitive if C.J. Stroud plays. If Davis Mills is out, I think Buffalo, it's their game to lose here, guys. Now we move on to the Sunday slate. The international games are over. This game should be a lot of fun, but injury update for Steelers fans. Aaron Rodgers has a fracture in his wrist. It doesn't look like it requires surgery or is like a season-ending injury. Mike Tomlin came out in a report today that his time out will be TBD. I doubt that he plays this week, so that means Mason Rudolph will take over at the quarterback position for the Bears, who continue to win games, close freaking games. The Steelers blew out the Bengals last week. The Bears narrowly beat the Vikings with a last-second field goal here. In a game they probably should have lost if the Vikings didn't give up like a 55-yard, I think it was, kickoff return to set up that game-winning field goal. Caleb Williams, 2,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's a lot better of a ratio this year than previous years. Swift is having a good year, and so is Odunze with 39 catches and 600 yards, 6 tutties. Can the Steelers exploit this Bears secondary that has struggled in weeks past? Very good on the road versus the Vikings last week, forced 2 interceptions there on J.J. McCarthy. Both of these teams are in the playoff hunt and need wins. Steelers 2-2 on the road, Bears 3-1 at home. Looks like the weather's going to be pretty good there in Chicago. Not too cold, but Mason Rudolph on the road, not particularly a great spot. Can the Bears keep their winning ways going? I was really impressed with the Bears defense last week because they've been struggling the previous several weeks, right? And the Steelers, they're so hit or miss. One week they play really good. The next week they play really bad. They were without Darius Slay last week due to a concussion. Alex Highsmith also didn't play in that game. That's why I liked the Bengals and the points last week, but the Bengals defense was atrocious with no Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart, and the Steelers did what they had to get a nice victory there at home for their Steelers fans. Line's at 2.5. Over under is at 45.5. Very interesting game with some playoff implications here in week number 12. Underdog is sponsoring today's video, guys. The spot for pick'ems this NFL season. You simply pick higher or lower on 2 or more of your favorite players to get in the game, guys. Simply choose your entry fee, and for being a part of the J All Day community, Underdog is giving you guys a great opportunity. Use the promo code J All Day. Play $5 to get $100 in bonus funds. Next up on this Sunday slate, we have the Patriots on the road taking on the Bengals. The Patriots 5-0 on the road. Very impressive stuff. Drake May closing in on 3,000 yards on the season. Great touchdown to interception ratio, 20-5. He's been extremely impressive all year long, not turning over the football. Looks really good doing it. Diggs closing in on 700 yards. I want to see him get some more touchdowns. Faux show. Milton Williams is on IR for the Patriots. That's a huge bummer. But the Bengals, Jamar Chase, suspended for spitting in Jalen Ramsey's face last week. That turned into a crazy melee. He's denying it till he dies, but there's video footage of him clearly spitting on Jalen Ramsey. It's clear as day. Absolutely clear as day. He's appealing the suspension for 1 game. I don't think it matters. The Patriots probably going to win this game. They need to keep pace with the Bills, right? If they lose and the Bills win, then this division is getting really, really, really close. Going to come down to the final weeks of the season, but they should take care of business here. The Bengals are atrocious. The defense, the offensive line, Joe Flacco has been playing awful. No Jamar Chase. This team's going to get blown out for sure. Next up, Giants, Lions. Lions had a really tough go at it last week on the road. Sunday Night Football versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It was cold. 30-mile-an-hour winds, and Jared Goff really, really struggled. But they get to go home to take on the Giants, who have not won a road game all year long. 0-6 on the road here in 2025. Jameis Winston kept them in the game last week versus the Green Bay Packers, but it just wasn't enough for the Green Bay Packers to lose that game. The Packers did lose Josh Jacobs in that game, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Jackson Dart should be back in this spot, but it's tough sledding. You got to go on the road at home. The Lions are really good, 3-1 at home this year. The Lions at 10.5, totals at 50.5. Vegas expects Jared Goff and this offense to get right versus a Giants secondary that's been very shreddable, and a front seven for the Giants who have a lot of good big names, but haven't really particularly been playing well over the season, not really sacking the quarterback as much as I expected them to this year. And that's leading this secondary to get exposed week in and week out. They're also not very good against the run. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery all cooked this week, as well as Jameson Williams. And we'll have to keep our eye on Sam Laporta. I forget if he's on IR or not, but he'll probably, we'll have to see if he's going to be in this game here, guys. All right, next up, we got a tough division matchup with serious implications coming down the road. 4-6 for the Vikings, 6-3-1 for the Packers. This is do or die for the Vikings. If they lose this game, their season's pretty much over. They would have to catch the Packers, the Lions, who are 6-4, who are probably going to get a win, and the Bears, who look really good as well. They lose this game and go to 4-7. The best they can get is 10-7. That's not going to be good enough to win this division or make the playoffs in the NFC, in my opinion. That would mean they would have to freaking win out to get to 10 wins. No chance, in my opinion. Vikings, J.J. McCarthy, guys, he just hasn't looked good. 2 interceptions last week in that loss to the Bears against a very shreddable, beatable secondary. Shut down Justin Jefferson. Pretty embarrassing loss, in my opinion. Special teams let them down. Turnovers. You do all that shit, you're going to lose football games. This game's in Green Bay. Weather's not going to be a factor in the 50s. That's good football weather. Line's at 6.5 for the Packers. Is Josh Jacobs going to play? The total's only at 41.5. That's an interesting line for me. I think the over could be in play there, right? You get a 22-23 score or even 23-20. That goes over. I think this game could go over in that spot. But, man, J.J. McCarthy just has not been good. So can he put some points on the board? Put it together. Their season is on the line in this division matchup versus the Packers. Josh Jacobs left the game. I think it was in the second quarter with a knee injury. No updates on him quite yet. But We'll have to see if he's healthy and going to be able to go here in this spot. Because remember, Tucker Kraft done for the year for the Packers. And their offense has not been as good without him. They need Matthew Golden to stay healthy and on the field if they want to win this game. Interesting spot there for the Vikings and Packers. Next up, a get-right game. Seahawks and Sam Darnold threw for 4 interceptions in that game. Only had 6 on the whole year going into that spot. His touchdown to interception ratio was looking pretty good. And then those 4 interceptions last week versus the Rams. Terrible, terrible performance from Sam Darnold. It seems like whenever the lights are the brightest, Sam Darnold continues to let us down here. 4-1 on the road. Titans have yet to win a home game all year. 0-5. 1-9. I like the Seahawks. The defense was so good against the Rams, especially because the offense, with all those turnovers, was just putting the defense in bad spot after bad spot after bad spot. But the Seahawks defense kept this game close. The Seahawks had a chance to win, but man, 4 interceptions, it's hard to overcome that, especially in a division game on the road. Line's at 13.5, totals at 40.5. Good weather there in Tennessee. I don't see any way that the Seahawks lose this game, but the Titans defense, played pretty good last week against the Houston Texans, but this offense is a totally different animal. I would be surprised if the Titans scored over 13 points in this game. So, can the Seahawks get to 27, 30 points to cover the huge spread of 13.5? You got to get to 14 to cover, right? So, there's not much to say about this game. The Seahawks got to flush that game against the Rams like a bad shit, move forward, and Sam Darnold hopefully will be better than that 4 interception performance. I like the Seahawks last week, and Sam Darnold really, really let me down. Colts, Chiefs, another team that their season is on the line. If the Chiefs lose this game, it's over for them. They're not even going to make the playoffs this year. That's straight up. 4-1 at home. They've outscored opponents at home the last 3 weeks, 89-24. Good spot for the Chiefs to get right after a disappointing loss to a division rival Broncos that pretty much locked up the division for the Broncos. Bo Nix had a great fourth quarter and left Mahomes in the dust, who was unable to convert red zone into touchdowns. A lot of red zone, they were in there a bunch of times, had to kick field goals. That's why they lost that freaking game. Broncos red zone defense has been incredible all year long. The Colts have kind of come back down to earth. 8-2, 2-2 on the road. Not the best road team. I kind of like the Chiefs in this spot. They're 3.5-point favorites. Totals at 49.5 or 50, depending on what sports book you're at. But the Chiefs lose. With losing tiebreakers to the Broncos, Chargers, Jaguars. That's it. That's a wrap. I'll wrap on Kelsey's career. I'll wrap on this Chiefs team. If they lose this game to the Colts, with AFC losses to the Colts, Broncos, Chargers, and Jaguars, they lost to the Bills too, right? So that's it. The season's over. If they lose this game, their season is over. They have to win this game. And the Colts are going to see the best of the best from the Chiefs. Tough spot to go play in Arrowhead. Going to be a tough spot. Let's see what the Chiefs got. Do they have a little life left in them? I think this game's going to be decided on whether or not Jonathan Taylor can get loose. Already over 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns on the season. He's been incredibly impressive for the Colts. Going to be a tough game. A lot of fun to watch. Buckle up, Chiefs fans. Jets, Ravens. Spreads at 13.5. Totals at 44.5. Jets have benched Justin Fields. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor on Sunday. I don't think it matters. 1-3 on the road. 2-3 at home for the Ravens. The Ravens did not look great last week versus the Browns. The defensive line of the Browns got after Lamar Jackson. I think they sacked him, 5 times, 4 times, something like that. I think Garrett had 4, right? Incredible performance by him. Derrick Henry closing in on 1,000 yards again. Zay Flowers at 700 yards. Very impressive season so far. Remember, the Jets traded away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, who looked great playing for the Cowboys last night versus the Raiders. I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about in this game. This Jets team, can Breece Hall get going? That's probably their only chance to win. Garrett Wilson's probably going to miss this game again. He's out for multiple weeks again with an injury. Weather will not be a factor here. but the Ravens got to win this game if they want to keep their playoff hopes and division hopes alive. Because remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers got a tough game versus the Bears. So if the Steelers lose, they move to 6-5. And if the Ravens win, boom, they're 6-5. And all of a sudden, that AFC North is up for grabs. Browns versus the Raiders, the shit bowl of all shit bowls, guys. Browns 0-5 on the road. Raiders 1-4 at home. The Raiders are a joke. Or maybe I'm the joke because I picked the Raiders to upset the Cowboys last night because I thought they were going to be able to run the ball, at least in a mediocre fashion, against this freaking worst rush defense in the NFL. But guess what? Ashton Jenkins got 3 carries in the first half, and the Raiders are a bunch of idiots. So this is their game plan. Let's get in a shootout with Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, and Ferguson, and we have Geno Smith, no wide receivers, and Brock Bowers. That was their game plan. Maybe the worst game plan I've ever seen in my life, and that's saying a lot covering the NFL. Geno Smith has more interceptions than touchdown passes this year. Bench him. What are we doing here? I like the Browns to win. Give me the Browns and the points all day. The Raiders 3.5-point favorites. I think Shedeur Sanders bounces back. Dylan Gabriel left the game with a concussion. Shedeur Sanders is in line to start this week, but not going to be a fun game to watch. I think Myles Garrett eats this offensive line for breakfast. Jaguars. Cardinals. Cardinals are extremely beat up. They only have 1 win at home this year. Jaguars have split both their road games. Jags only 2.5-point favorites, which is surprising, especially because the line is really high. I don't see how the Cardinals score so many points because they're thinking it's going to be like, what, a 24-23-ish game, 25-22. That's kind of where they're at line-wise, right? To get to that 47.5 total. Cardinals offense, they're down another running back. Jacoby Brissett hasn't been good. I think Kyler Murray might not play again for the rest of the year. We'll have to keep our eyes on the status of Marvin Harrison Jr., who had to deal with emergency surgery on his appendix a week and a half ago. Jaguars blew the brakes off the Chargers, which was a very impressive performance, right? Going to be a close game, for sure. Trevor Lawrence, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 2,100 yards. Not that great, but NTN's having an incredible year. 154 carries, 729 yards, 5 touchdowns. McBride over 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. Remember, he didn't get his first touchdown until like week 16 last year. So it's nice they're using him in the red zone a lot more this year. But the Cardinals, the defense is extremely decimated. We'll have to keep an eye on the status of those injuries. I mean, if we take a look at their depth chart here, guys, real quick, just to get an eye on what we're working with. Marvin Harrison Jr. is questionable. DeMarcado is done. So now Bam White and Michael Carter are in line to run the ball. Will Johnson and Garrett Williams are questionable. Budda Baker and Max Melton are healthy. But look at all these guys on IR. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bunch of guys out. It's just tough sledding there for the Cardinals, especially if they're going to be without Marvin Harrison Jr. for another week there, guys. So that's going to be a really fun game. Talk about fun games. Eagles, Cowboys in Jerry's world there. Eagles on the road, 4-1, really good road team. Cowboys are 2-1-1 at home. They had a great performance last night, honoring Marshawn Nealon. Clap it up for the Cowboys, honoring Marshawn. Good performance. They look really good. The addition to Quinnen Williams really helped that rush defense look pretty damn good as well. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites, total at 48.5. Can this Cowboys offense get cooking versus a really good Eagles defense, right? The last 2 weeks, they've shut down the Lions and Packers. They look really dominant, man. So that's where this game is won and lost, whether or not the Cowboys offense can get cooking. And where's this Eagles offense? And did the Cowboys defense actually look better, or are the Raiders just that freaking bad? We'll figure that out here on Sunday in Jerry's world. Going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this game. The Eagles got A.J. Brown a little more involved, but Saquon Barkley is still MIA. It's been a really weird year for our boy Saquon Barkley. The Eagles' offensive line, not a lot of running lanes to get through. Dak aired the ball out. Pickens looked great, had an incredible game. When this offense is rolling for the Cowboys, it's a very dangerous unit. Maybe they go on a little bit of a run if they figured out this rush defense a little bit. We'll find out on Sunday. And then wrapping up this week, here. Week 12 preview. We got Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, Rams. Oh, I got one more game. Panthers, 49ers. I almost forgot you guys. Falcons, Saints. Michael Penix Jr. done for the year, guys, so make sure you take that into consideration. And Kirk Cousins, in the limited time that he's had this year, has looked horrific. He might be cooked. And the Saints got a big win. I think they're coming off a bye as well, right? So Tyler Shook playing with a little bit of confidence. They got a win in their last game, 2-8 on the year. And they're playing pretty good defense. They're in a lot of these games, guys. So going to be a lot of fun to watch this game, actually. Division rival game. We got the Falcons and the Saints. The Falcons, if they lose this game, they might be firing a lot of people. They have too much talent to be winning only 3 games this year. What the hell is going on in Atlanta, guys? Going to be a close game for sure. Buccaneers, Rams. Buccaneers very short-handed offensively. Still no Bucky, Irving, or Godwin. We'll see if they make their return on Sunday. The Rams look like the best team in the NFL right now, forcing 4 interceptions on Sam Darnold, who's looked great before that. Matt Stafford's playing at MVP level. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams. That's a tough offense to deal with. The Buccaneers defense has been pretty mediocre this year. I think the Rams could dominate this game. And remember, Baker Mayfield spent a little bit of time in LA with the Rams and Sean McVay, so they know his tendencies, right? So I think the defense is going to exploit that, get some pressure on Baker, and he does turn the ball over. I think he had an interception and a fumble last week. I expect some more turnovers here in week number 12. Wrapping up Monday Night Football, Panthers, 49ers. Panthers, maybe the surprise of the year, 6-5 winning record. They got to go on the road in San Francisco. It's going to be a tough game for them to win in this spot. The 49ers offense is getting healthy. Brock Purdy came back last week and looked great. Christian McCaffrey is doing his thing. Kittle has been more involved in the offense the last 2 weeks. He looks really good. And then Robert Saleh, has a little extra time to prepare for this Panthers offense who went crazy last week versus the Falcons. Bryce Young, 400-plus passing yards. Ted McMillan went off. Can they get it going versus a banged-up 49ers defense that will be without Fred Warner and Nick Bosa? But Saleh's got this unit playing pretty good. For the most part, kept the Falcons offense in check. That was a 30-27 game. So the Panthers have the opportunity to keep this close. And it looks like Vegas thinks there's going to be some points scored on both ends. 48.5 point total. Should be a really fun game to watch. And the Broncos, Dolphins, Chargers, and Commanders are on the bye. The Panthers need to establish the run, keep this 49ers offense off the field, keep it close, maybe force a turnover with Brock Purdy, and then they'll have a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter. That's their path to victory. And the 49ers just got to keep doing what they're doing, put up a ton of points, kind of compensate for their defense, right? It's kind of the 49ers want to keep their defense off the field, and the Panthers want to keep their offense on the field. That's how they win these games, in my opinion. So, games will be a lot of fun. My picks will be coming out shortly, guys. I hope you enjoyed these previews. If you do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much. Peace.